Your degree is a depreciating asset. While the masses waste 4 years and $60,000 on a certificate in a dying economy, the elite master the architecture of capital. I started at 18 with zero qualifications, but discovered that wealth is a skill, not luck. You've been trained as a cog for a machine being replaced by AI. You don't need millions yet. You need escape velocity, your first $10,000. In this video, I'm delivering the 2026 blueprint, the 4 paths to immediate liquidity, the skill pyramid of the 1%, and the exact framework to automate your wealth. This is where you transition from a laborer to a builder. Stop settling for crumbs. It's time to build the bakery. How old are you right now, and what is the number one financial struggle keeping you from that first 10K? Comment below. Most people fail because they lack a hierarchy of objectives. They see someone making millions in the volatility of the crypto markets or day trading high-leverage options, and they attempt to skip the fundamental levels of wealth. This is financial suicide. High-risk instruments like crypto and day trading are not income streams. They are wealth multipliers. You cannot multiply zero. Your primary mission is to build a reliable engine that generates cash flow. In the modern economy, there are 4 distinct paths to your first $10,000, but only one is optimized for the year 2026. The first path, the proving ground of direct value. In-person services are the oldest form of commerce. Whether it is personal training, high-end car detailing, or aesthetic services, these are the fastest ways to generate immediate liquidity. Many of you look down on these roles because they require physical effort, but that is a mistake of the ego. When I was 18, I did not look for a job. I looked for a problem. I noticed that wealthy homeowners in elite neighborhoods had immaculate lawns, but neglected vehicles. I understood a fundamental law of human psychology. The wealthy are obsessed with the optics of their environment. By offering a premium detailing service, I was not just washing cars, I was maintaining the status symbols of the local elite. The barrier to entry here is non-existent. You do not need a website or a logo. You need a skill and the audacity to knock on a door. However, the limitation is clear. You are trading your finite hours for currency. You are a one-man army. While this is excellent for generating your first few $1,000s, it will never make you wealthy because it cannot scale. You are capped by the physical limits of your own body and the geography of your zip code. The second path, local artifacts and the margin trap. Then there is the path of local products, handmade goods, artisanal items, or niche equipment. I once spent months building high-end remote-controlled airplane components. I loved the process, but I hated the math. Most entrepreneurs fall into the trap of the passion project. They spend 80 hours building something they love, only to realize that after material costs, their hourly rate is lower than a fast food worker. If your margins are being eaten by physical inventory, and your customer base is restricted to the people you can meet in person, you are not building a business. You are funding an expensive hobby. To reach $10,000 quickly, you must move away from physical constraints. The third path, global commerce and the restocking vortex. The third option is the world of global products, dropshipping, print on demand, or private labeling. This is where you leverage the infrastructure of the internet to reach 8 billion people. The potential here is massive, but so is the complexity. When I scaled my model airplane designs globally, I encountered the restocking vortex. For every dollar I made, I had to reinvest 90 cents into new inventory just to keep the lights on. My wealth was trapped in shipping containers and warehouses. Global commerce is a game of patience and deep pockets. If you choose this path, you must be prepared for a 3 to 6 month lag before you can actually touch your profits. It is a highly passive model once optimized, but it is not the fastest route for a beginner. The fourth path, the 2026 gold standard, AI-augmented digital services. This is where the game changes. In 2026, the most lethal way to hit $10,000 is by providing high-leverage digital services. I am talking about copywriting, video orchestration, and strategic social media management. This path combines the global reach of a product with the high margins of a service. While a physical product might net you a 30% profit, a digital service nets you 80 to 90%. But here is the hard truth that the old gurus won't tell you. The era of basic video editing or simple article writing is dead. AI can now perform those tasks for pennies. To survive and thrive in this landscape, you must become an AI orchestrator. You don't just edit a video, you use AI tools to generate 10 variations of a high-converting advertisement and use your human intuition to pick the winner. You don't just write a blog post, you engineer a prompt that generates a full-funnel marketing strategy. Are you currently working a job that an algorithm could replace in the next 12 months? Or are you the one controlling the algorithm? Comment builder if you are taking control, or spectator if you are still waiting for permission. The skill pyramid. The 4 laws of the 1%. To turn a digital skill into a $10,000 monthly income, you must master the skill pyramid. Most people remain stuck at the bottom, working harder and earning less because they ignore these 4 pillars. Pillar 1. Psychological positioning. Businesses do not pay for your time, they pay for the removal of pain. An individual might complain about spending $50 on a book, but a CEO will happily drop $5,000 to solve a lead generation problem that is costing him $50,000 a month. The money is not in the task, it is in the outcome. Stop positioning yourself as a freelancer for hire. Position yourself as a revenue architect. Instead of saying, I can edit your YouTube videos, say, I will increase your retention rate by 20% and maximize your ad revenue. Instead of being a copywriter, be an optimization specialist for high-ticket landing pages. You must move to where the money flows. Don't hunt for clients in the desert. Build a well in the oasis. Pillar 2. Radical leverage. If you charge by the hour, you are incentivized to be slow, and your client is incentivized to pay you less. This is a conflict of interest. To reach $10,000, you must decouple your income from your time. You charge for the return on investment, ROI. If your Facebook ad campaign generates $100,000 in sales, a $10,000 fee is a bargain. When you move to value-based pricing, your income becomes exponential. You are no longer a cost on their balance sheet. You are an asset. Pillar 3. Omnipresent reach. The biggest mistake of the average person is chasing clients. The elite attract them. You must treat your personal brand as a 24/7 sales representative. In the age of TikTok and LinkedIn, there is no excuse for being invisible. I recently saw a graphic designer who simply posted his process of creating movie-style posters for fun. He wasn't even looking for work. But because his work was omnipresent, his inbox was flooded with high-value offers. He went from zero to a full-scale agency in weeks because he leveraged reach. You must document your journey. Show the before and after. Explain the logic behind your designs. Prove your competence in public, and the market will reward you with private opportunities. Pillar 4. Industrial-grade infrastructure. 95% of entrepreneurs fail not because they lack talent, but because they are unreliable. They miss deadlines, they lose emails, and they operate out of a chaotic spreadsheet. In the elite world, reliability is a higher currency than charisma. To scale to $10,000 and beyond, you need a system that makes you appear larger than you are. You need infrastructure. This is why the most successful builders I know don't rely on their memory. They use a centralized operating system. A system like Odoo CRM is not just a tool, it is the skeleton of your business. It allows you to visualize every opportunity, track every lead, and ensure that no dollar falls through the cracks. Imagine having your emails, project notes, and meetings all synced in one visual dashboard. When a client sees that you are organized, they trust you with larger sums of money. Efficiency is the bridge between a side hustle and a corporation. By automating your follow-ups and centralizing your data, you free up your cognitive energy to focus on high-level strategy. If you want to play in the big leagues, you must use big league tools. The capital sovereignty strategy. Now, let us address the pivot. Once you hit that $10,000 mark, the average person makes a fatal error. They celebrate. They buy a luxury watch, a designer suit, or a lease on a car they don't need. They take their first step toward freedom and immediately walk back into the cage. You must understand that $10,000 is not spending money. It is seed capital. It is the fuel for your engine of liberty. Your goal is not to be a high earner. It is to be a capital owner. You should treat every dollar as a soldier in your private army. Your job is to send those soldiers out to capture more territory. Think about the last significant amount of money you received. Did you use it to buy a liability to impress people you don't like? Or did you use it to buy an asset that works while you sleep? Be honest. What is the one luxury purchase you regret the most? Share your story below to help others avoid the same trap. The deployment of wealth. The risk hierarchy. Until you have a liquid net worth of at least $1 million, your primary focus should be on growth, not preservation. However, you must deploy your capital across 4 key sectors to ensure you never have to start from zero again. Level 1. The liquidity shield. Before you invest a single cent in the stock market, you need a high-interest savings account. This is not for growth, it is for defense. In the volatile world of business, cash is your oxygen. Having 3 to 6 months of expenses in a liquid account ensures that if the market crashes or a client leaves, you are not forced to sell your long-term assets at a loss. It is the price you pay for peace of mind. Level 2. The compounding shield, index funds. This is where the math of the 1% becomes undeniable. The S&P 500 represents the 500 most powerful engines of American capitalism. Over the last century, it has averaged a 10% annual return. If you invest the cost of a daily coffee into an index fund like VT Sachs, or a global equivalent from age 18, the compounding effect will make you a millionaire by 67. But for the visionaries, 67 is too late. We don't invest $5 a day, we invest $5,000 a month. We use the cash flow from our AI-augmented services to accelerate the compounding clock. By maximizing your contributions to emerging market funds like VWO and total market funds, you are building a fortress that inflation cannot penetrate. Level 3. Strategic equity, individual stocks. Individual stocks are where you apply your market intelligence. This is for the capital you can afford to lose in exchange for high-speed growth. When you own shares in a specific company, you are betting on their leadership and their innovation. This requires deep research and a stoic temperament. If you cannot watch your portfolio drop 20% in a week without panicking, you have no business owning individual stocks. This level is for those who want to beat the market, not just follow it. Level 4. Asymmetric upside, cryptocurrency. Finally, we have the high-risk, high-reward sector, Bitcoin and Ethereum. In 2009, the world laughed at digital currency. In 2026, the institutional elite are using it as a hedge against the debasement of the US dollar. You should never put your rent money into crypto, but you should have a strategic allocation in assets with asymmetric upside. Bitcoin is the digital gold of our era, a finite asset in an infinite sea of printed currency. We use dollar-cost averaging to build positions in these assets, ignoring the daily noise and focusing on the decade-long thesis. Wealth is not about the number of zeros in your bank account. It is about the number of hours you own. Most people spend their lives in a state of quiet desperation, trading their limited time for a currency that loses value every single day. By following this blueprint, moving from local labor to global AI orchestration, and then into disciplined capital deployment, bypassing the traditional gatekeepers and claiming your sovereignty. As for those of you still watching, you have shown a level of discipline that 90% of the population lacks. Here is the hard truth that didn't make it into the main points. Your environment is the silent killer of your ambition. If you are surrounded by 5 people who complain about the economy and wait for the government to save them, you will be the sixth. Wealth is a frequency. If you don't change the people you listen to, you will never change the life you live. You must be willing to be misunderstood by the average to be rewarded by the elite. If you are committed to this journey and you have reached this far, I want you to leave a mark. Comment the secret password. I am sovereign. This tells me you are part of the 1% who finishes what they start. If this masterclass provided you with the clarity you've been seeking, like this video and subscribe. We don't do entertainment here, we do transformation. Share this with one person who is tired of the median life. The next step in your evolution is already waiting. There is a video on your screen right now that dives deeper into the mechanics of the digital economy. Click it. The time for waiting is over. The time for building is now. See you in the next one.